How to multiply rational expressions. Same as like you with regular numbers, except we're dealing with expressions, with functions. So what that means is we got to factor first and then we cancel. Just give you an idea of how you can approach this. If you were to look at a over b times c over d, that's exact same as a times c over b times d. So in other words, it's one big old fraction. Multiplication is just one big fraction. So if you see something like what I have written here, for example a, you can write it as x plus 8 times x minus 5 over x minus 5 times x minus 8. Now if you notice, both the numerator and the denominator have x minus 5s, so we'll cancel those out. Now x plus 8 and x minus 8 are not common factors, so we write those as they are. And we're done. Nothing cancels. Cannot cancel the x's, cannot cancel the 8's. Terms do not cancel. Only factors. That's the idea behind it. Now, honestly, what I would have done, I wouldn't have written this step out. I would have went ahead and just canceled the x minus 5's and got the answer immediately. So that's the approach I really want to take. That's what I'm going to do from now on. Let's do the next one, number B. Number B. B's not a number, by the way. And now if you look, I have x squared minus 9. Anytime I see squares, I'm thinking factoring. And that does mean, because that minus 9 is going to factor, because we have a difference of two squares. What's being squared? X and 3. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write down the x plus 3 on top. I'm going to factor the x squared minus 9 by using reverse FOIL. What times what is x squared? What times what is 9? What times what's a negative? And then I'm just going to write down the second fraction. And I'm going to cancel anything that can possibly cancel. I have an x plus 3 over here and x plus 3 down here. Either one will work, but I'll only cancel one of them. So let's just go ahead and cancel the x plus 3 with that x plus 3. Now I have x minus 3 in the denominator over here, x minus 3 in the numerator over here. Let's cancel those x minus 3's. Now remember, when you cancel, they're not going away, they're just reducing down to 1. So actually I got 1's left over, so I got 1 times the 1 on top, and the 1 times x plus 3 on the bottom. That leaves me with x plus 3 on the bottom. Final answer is 1 over x plus 3. Now look at question C. Question C could require a little bit of paper, so be prepared for this. But maybe not. Maybe it's not as bad as it may appear. Now if you look, we got several expressions that need to be factored. And let's start factoring those. See this x cubed plus 8? Cubes. That tells me I gotta look at that 8 and see if it's a cube. It just so happens that it is a cube of 2. So let's factor that cube. And in fact, it's a sum of two cubes. Once again, if you saw previous videos, you'll know that what we're thinking is what cubed is x. What's being cubed here for x cubed? Well, the x is. Sin you see is a plus. What cubed is 8? 2. Then we do square multiply square. Square the x. Multiply the x times 2 and change the sign. And multiply the 2. So you have that one out of the way. Let's go down here. Factor the x squared minus 5x minus 14. Don't see a GCF, do see squares. Don't see a number in front of the x squared, so I'm going to do reverse FOIL. I think what times what is x squared? What times what is negative 14 that gives us negative 5? How about a negative 7 plus 2? Because negative 7 times a positive 2 is negative 14, and negative 7 plus 2 is negative 5. Second fraction, I see a 20 in the numerator. I'm going to keep that as a 20. When I look in the denominator, I gotta see if that factors. When you look at the 4x squared minus 8x plus 16, the very first thing you should recognize is they all have what in common. See, a lot of people see the square first. I don't. I see the GCF first. That's what you should see also. They all have a 4 in common. So I'm gonna write that in front of my parentheses and divide each of those by 4. 4x squared divided by 4 is x squared. Negative 8x divided by 4 is negative 2x. And 16 divided by 4 is a plus 4. Now watch this. I could check and see if this factors, but I don't really need to. It doesn't factor, by the way. There are no factors of positive 4 that give you a negative 2. But even if it did, and say that up here I missed the factor also, it wouldn't matter because they're the same expressions, same factor. I'm going to cancel those. Watch this. I got x plus 2's. I'm going to cancel those. Well, look at this. 4 goes into 4 once, and 4 goes into 25 times. I see nothing else that will cancel or reduce, so I'm going to multiply what I got left over. I have a 5 on top, and an x and minus 7 on the bottom, and I am done with that problem. So remember, factor and then cancel.